Coming to you live from the Seaport, New York City, and brought to you by Chase. Welcome back to Jalen and Jacoby. Jalen Rose, the last week was him and Joe Tsai met in London. And Kevin Durant said, you're either going to have me play on your team, but you're going to have to fire your coach and your general manager. Wild ultimatum presented by Kevin Durant. What happens next? Where do we go from here with KD and the Nets?
Remember the two versions of this same song? I got the power. I think Snap was one. I forget who was the other group. But I love the verse and the bars from the artist who dropped lyrics on that song. Here's what I'll say about the Easy Money Sniper. As I see him turn over both shoulders and shoot with one leg, as I see those arms are so long that he can scratch his knees, it reminds me that I'm not trading him. That's all this, like you just show.
Okay, but you're not trading, but are you going to fire the head coach and the GM at his request?
Well, this is what we need to discuss, Mr. Easy Money Sniper, because you welcome the addition of Steve Nash as the head coach. Mm-hmm. I made a lot of moves, and I assumed that they were working in concert with the wishes of one Kevin Durant. And you can now determine he clearly appreciated those moves that were being made because he signed a long-term deal. So the circumstance this season, and it was a terrible season for everybody with the Nets. Anytime you see one of their young players at Summer League be asked about Steve Nash, he like, it was a bad season. So bad that they're the only team that didn't win a playoff game. The only one. And the team that eliminated them in the playoffs went to the finals, and now Kevin Durant is possibly in conversations to be traded to that team. Have we seen this movie before? When he lost with OKC and joined the Golden State Warriors? So if I'm the Nets, I hope to have a healthy Ben Simmons, a healthy Kyrie Irving, who now can play on the East Coast based on the vaccine rules, and a long-term deal with Kevin Durant. So no, I'm not going to fire Sean Marks, who clearly has done an excellent job. He got Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, James Harden, Ben Simmons all to come to play for the Nets. That means he's doing an excellent job. So you're not going to fire him. He got Kevin Durant to sign a long-term deal in his mid-30s. He's doing a great job. And so based on all of the factors that I just said, I'm not firing the coach. I'm not getting rid of the GM. But here's what I will say. One of the biggest differences this season, as I look back in the rearview mirror and my snorkels that just look so glorious. I should look in the mirror more often, no doubt. The difference between the Nets and the Celtics were the hiring of their head coaches. What Ime Udoka brought to the team, his ability to not only navigate X's and O's, but also to develop and nurture young players and also be able to challenge his team, versus Steve Nash, who seemed not to be able to do that. And look no further than the play where James Harden allows the ball to go in the backcourt at Detroit. Doesn't even consider bending over to pick up the ball. I believe Sadiq Bey runs 50 feet, picks up the ball, and go dunks it. I literally watched to see if somebody was going to say something to James Harden. Nobody said a word to him. And so that said a lot to me. That spoke volumes to me. So I don't think by any means, like, as a coach, you're hired to be fired. But I do believe this season for Steve Nash is going to be a make or break year. And it's going to be really important for them to get off to a great start, knowing that Kevin Durant has made this trade request.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what happens. Something tells me that Kevin Durant will stay on the roster and Steve Nash will be the head coach and Sean Marks will continue to be the general manager. Jalen, I don't know if you're familiar with this, but here's Jalen Rose. I'm David Jacoby. We are Jalen and Jacoby. What is it that we do? Jalen Rose, there's a lot of summer basketball happening in the Pacific Northwest. Friend of the show, Isaiah Thomas, was hosting a game. There's no big deal, just hosting a game. And it was Paolo Banchero and DeJounte Murray. And there was one clip that stood out amongst the rest. Take a look at this and tell me what you see.
Ooh, these are the tales, the freaky tales. These are the tales that I tell so well. I see you, DeJounte. He's going to be teaming up this year with Trae Young in Atlanta. They're going to do work. And again, it just so happened that was against the #1 overall pick in the draft. And not many people in the national media can say that they've been to the Seattle run. I went to the Jamal Crawford run. I saw Paolo play. I saw Chet play. Saw Jaden McDaniels play. I missed DeJounte that Sunday. And so this is just competition. However, when you freak it like that and you give them the stare down and you bark at them a little bit, that means it's a little extra on it.
It was.
And I ain't mad at it at all.
Well, there's a lot of extra on it. There's other video from this game that we don't have where DeJounte Murray is calling him a little boy. They were going back and forth. He kind of bumps into him when he's at the foul line at one point. And then as it always does, it spills into social media. I'm sure you've seen the back and forth between the two of them. And there seemed to be a little respect, but a little disrespect at the same time. It's kind of like they had the gloves on. The gloves weren't off on social media. But what do you think about the back and forth after the game?
Hey, dog. This is what you want. Let me tell you something. There was a period of time where Detroit had Derek Coleman, Steve Smith, lottery picks, and then Chris Webber, Jalen Rose, and then Tractor Trailer and Maurice Taylor. We could go on and on and on about the lineage of basketball in the city. But when we played at the Saint, we went at it. And there were times where there were altercations. And let me just tell you something. DeJounte's older. He's been an all-star. He's been around the block. He the OG in this case. Like he said, I remember allowing you to grab rebounds for me and having you in the gym. He's the OG, just like they did for me. So now when you come back, they keeping score. Because remember, that's what the OGs are set to do, keep score. So it's like, oh, you moving different now. See, you got the new car now. Oh, before it was 2 of y'all, now it's 10 of y'all. Like, okay, that's what you want, Jacoby. That's game, recognizing game. And DeJounte's right. He's about to enter into a man's league, and he want to make sure his young fella ready. No harm, no foul. I don't want people to look in too deep into this. The OG Jamal Crawford, the OG Isaiah Thomas, everybody going to make sure that this ain't nothing but friendly competition, but also challenging each other to be the best version of themselves on and off the floor. That's what you call giving back to the community. I ain't mad at it at all.
Well, sometimes the competition with DeJounte Murray is a little less than friendly. There was the off the backboard dunk that he throws the ball at him. But earlier this summer, DeJounte Murray, he didn't just like bounce it off a guy's head. He kind of slams it off this guy's head twice and then goes right past him. So DeJounte Murray has been putting some work in Seattle, and we love to see it. But that's not the only summer
I'm about to get
league
DeJounte
action.
on the show. I'm going to hit him up and get him on the show.
Get him on. Love
and
to
you
have
see
him
those
on.
number 5s out there representing. We got to get them. I got you, DeJounte. Got to get my guy to come on and represent.
Hit him up during the break, but before that, Mr. Rose, we have some other action that I want to show you as well, because there was some really interesting action in Summer League, and there's one play I want to talk to you. I had to watch this like 7 times, all right? Look at where he is when he throws it off the backboard.
Jeez. Talk about covering ground. Talk about
Look where he
prime
is.
real estate. He shot that at Baltic and ended up at Boardwalk. You see what I'm saying?
I've seen people throw it off the board from around the foul line. It's kind of when like Tracy McGrady, Kobe Bryant normally do it, but like he's got an angle and he's like 19 feet from the basket. Just the length and ball skills of him truly make him a unicorn.
Absolutely. And here's the thing, Jacoby. You play good D on a guy like that. You don't get beat on the initial right-hand move. You stay with him on the crossover. You do a good job of staying down and being ready to contest his shot. You jump, and then he throws it off the backboard. It gets momentum and goes to finish. Like, he's a fantastic prospect.
He is, and we will see him in the league. My question for you is, will we see the other Ball brother in the league? It was Jello this weekend who had 52 points at the Drew League. Now, listen, it is the Drew League, but 52 points is a lot of points.
Absolutely. There aren't many people walking the face of this earth on any level. High school, college, AAU, any level, summer league, to score 50 points in a basketball game.
That's a good point.
You know what I'm saying? That's not to be taken for granted. And so I appreciate, even though he hasn't necessarily stuck with an NBA team, that he's still balling, putting in work, staying in the gym, making it be known that he's trying to put himself in position for that opportunity. I love to see it.
Well, we are wondering whether Kyrie and KD will be on the Nets, but we know Royce O'Neal will be on the Nets. He signed this offseason, but I want you to take me through this clip of Royce O'Neal. That's his mom.
She doing a good job. And then all of a sudden, he turns, down goes mama.
Look
and here's the thing.
She's being, though. I like how physical she was playing him. She was not letting him back her down.
But here's the thing. She was doing the opposite of the Rick Mahorn when he pulls the chair from underneath. Like, she was bodying him. She was using her knee. And then when he spit, you know what I'm saying? It was almost he pulled the chair from under her in reverse. It was great to see. I'm pretty sure.
I gotta see that again. Look at the chicken wing. Look at the chicken wing.
Good job, Mom.
Giving it to him.
Hey, Royce. Hey, Royce. That better come with a shopping spree. That better come with a month at the spa with massage therapy. You know what I'm saying? You take care of mama, family. I love to see that. I love it so much.
I love to see it too. I love the defense that she was playing on. What a clip.
Yes.
Love to see it now.